Welcome to iProledge. Hope you all are doing well. My name is Theja. I'm your JIGL faculty. So why are we here? In this video, we will be covering a very important topic of your second chapter, that is Constitution of India. And the topic that we will be covering in this video is Article 12. What is Article 12? Article 12 is one of the most important article of the Constitution. Before understanding Article 12, we need to understand what is fundamental right. What is fundamental right? Now, fundamental rights are the rights that are given where? First, we need to understand what is fundamental right? So, fundamental rights are the rights that are given in the Constitution of India. Where is it given in Constitution of India? It is given in Part 3 of Constitution of India. Okay. What is fundamental rights? Fundamental rights are those rights that are given where? In Part 3 of the Constitution of India. Which are the fundamental rights? We have 6 fundamental rights. How many? 6 fundamental rights. That is right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. We have these 6 fundamental rights. Yes, where are these rights given? In Part 3 of the Constitution of India. Fundamental rights, where is it given? Only in the Constitution of India. Now, fundamental rights, most of the fundamental rights are enforceable against state. What is it? Most of the fundamental rights, not all, most of the fundamental rights are enforceable against state. That means fundamental rights given in the Constitution protects an individual from the actions of the state. Okay, understanding all of you? Most of the fundamental rights that is given in the Constitution, it protects an individual from the action of state. Okay. Now, in order to understand this, we need to first understand what is this state, right? When I say most of the fundamental rights are enforced only against state and not against private individual, you need to first understand what is this state. Correct? Now, where is it given? What is state? It is given in Article 12 of the Constitution. So, Article 12 defines state. Let us understand. Understanding why we are seeing the definition of state, because most of the fundamental rights are enforceable only against state, not against private individuals. Got it? Yes. So, they have given state includes the following 4 things. What are those 4 things? First, state includes the government and parliament of India. State includes government and legislature of each state. State includes, the term state further includes all local authorities such as municipalities, panchayat and etc. It also covers other authorities that operate within India or under the control of Government of India, even if they are outside India. What did you understand? State includes 4 things. First thing is very clear. Central government, government and parliament of India. It includes state government, government and legislature of each state. It includes local authorities. Got it? What is local authorities? Municipalities, panchayat, all of these are local authorities. And state also covers other authorities, whether it is operating in India or outside India. Now let us understand what is this other authorities later. As of now, did you understand the first 3 things? First is government or government and parliament of India. Second is it includes government and legislature of each state, and local authority. What do you mean by this local authority? Local authority includes what? It includes those bodies that are created for local self-government or administration. For local self-government, whatever bodies are there, panchayat, municipalities, all of these are local authorities. Okay. So, what is local authorities? Those bodies that are created for local self-government or administration. These are local authorities. Examples, all of these. Now, to understand, now we understood the first 3 things. Now we have to understand the 4th point, that is the most important point. What do you mean by other authorities? Now this other authorities they have not given in the constitution. That is determined by courts on case-to-case basis. What is other authority is a very wide term which court has interpreted what is other authority. Let us see what do you mean by other authority. The Supreme Court has held that other authorities is a wide term. It includes any authority created by the Constitution or statute on which law confers power. It is not necessary that the authority must perform traditional government functions. What are they telling here? For it to be qualified in the other authority, it need not perform traditional government functions. Let us understand. This is the first case. In this case, what is the case? Rajasthan Electricity Board versus Mohanlal. What happened here? In this case, court held any statutory authority with legal power is a state, even if it does not perform sovereign function. Now, electricity board, the board that is providing electricity board, the question before the court was, is this board a state? What is the answer? Court held, yes, this is a state. What is the first thing that is qualified as a state in other authority? Is electricity board a state? The question here is electricity board a state? Okay, is electricity board a state? Is it a state? What is the answer? Yes, electricity board is a state. This is the first one. Okay? Yes. Next, university as state. Is university a state? What is the answer? Is university a state? Universities that is created by statute and performing public duties can be state. So, University of Madras versus Shantabai case, a university established by law is an authority under Article 12. Is educational university a state? Yes, it is a state. What is the second one? Is university a state? What is the answer? Yes, university is a state. What are they telling here? Those universities that are created by statute and performing public duties. Private bodies are not state. It has to be created by statute. So, which university is a state? Which is created by statute. Clear? Yes. This is the second one, which is included in other authorities. What is the third one? Is president a state? Did we cover president here? No, right? We have covered government, central government. We have covered state government. Did we cover president here? No. So the question before the court was, is president a state? Now understand. The question here is president a state? Okay. So what is it that they have told? They have categorized this. First, when the president uses the constitutional power, he is a state. When the president is acting using the constitutional power, then that time president will be considered as state. When the president is acting in personal capacity, is he a state? No. I'll explain this. Okay. Here he is a state. Here he is not a state. Okay. What do you mean by that? Okay. So when the president acts under the constitutional power, he can be treated as state. Normally, state includes government, not the president personally. But when the president uses constitutional power, he is treated as state for the fundamental right purpose. Under Article 359, that is during an emergency, a president can suspend enforcement of fundamental rights. So what happened here? Now during emergency, that is Article 359, the president can suspend the enforcement of fundamental right. While issuing such order, the president is treated as state. Okay, why he is treated as state that time? Because he is acting through constitution. Correct? He is acting using the constitutional power. During emergency, the president will suspend the enforcement of fundamental right. At this time, he will be considered as state. Okay? If at all he is acting in his personal capacity, he is not considered as state. Clear? Okay? Whenever he is exercising constitutional authority, he will be called as state. Else he will be not called as state. So when the president is acting as a constitutional authority of state, then he is a state. If he is acting in individual capacity, then he is not a state. Clear all of you? Is president a state? Two things you have to remember. If he is acting through constitutional authority, then yes, he is a state. If he is acting in personal capacity, then no, he is not a state. Clear? Yes. So actions of the president under the constitution are treated as actions of state. Very important. And can affect the fundamental rights. All of you clear till here? Yes. Next is the fifth point. Authorities under control of Government of India. Authorities functioning outside India can still be state if they are under the control of Government of India. So what they are telling here, those authorities functioning is happening where? In India? No, its functioning is happening outside India. Even its functioning is happening outside India, it will be called as state when its control is from Government of India. Who has the control of that particular authority? Government of India. At that time, you will say that authorities will be state. So authorities, those authorities under the control of Government of India will be state even if it is functioning outside India. So is functioning relevant here? Is functioning relevant here? No, it is not relevant. What is relevant here? Control is relevant. If control is with Government of India, then yes, it is a state. If control is not with Government of India, then it is not a state. Clear? Yes. Next, government companies and corporations. Are they state? Corporations acting as instrumentalities or agencies of state. When do you say it is acting as an instrumentality of state? If they are government controlled, that is control is with government. If the funding is through government, who is funding that particular authority? Who is funding that particular company? It is government, and they perform public functions. At that time you say this particular corporations, this particular companies are state. Clear? Yes. So now you need to understand what do you mean by instrumentality of state. This is very, very important. So we saw here that corporations acting as instrumentalities or agencies of government are state. For that you need to understand, when do you say it is this particular corporations, this particular authority is acting as an instrumentality of state? When? So the Supreme Court laid down tests to decide when a body is a state. A body is likely to be a state if the entire share capital is held by government. What is the first point? Entire share capital is by government. Second, government provides almost all the financial assistance. From whom the financial assistance is coming? From the government. Almost all substantial financial assistance is by government. The body enjoys a state conferred or state protected monopoly. And then there is deep and pervasive government control, complete control. Deep control is from whom? It is coming from the government. The body performs functions of public importance closely related to government work. And then the government department is transferred to the corporation. If all of these conditions are there, or any of these conditions are there, it is called as instrumentality of state. When do you say that particular authority is acting as an instrumentality of state? If any of these conditions are satisfied, you say that it is acting as an instrumentality of state. So these are indicators, not strict rules. So no single factor is conclusive. If any of the following factors are there, then you say that it is acting as an instrumentality of state. Clear all of you? Yes. So now a very important case. Here what happened? The Supreme Court clarified that the real test is the nature of control. We saw, right? Is place of functioning important? No, it is all about control. Who has the control? So the real test is all about who has the control. So the court looks at financial control, functional control and administrative control. Control must be deep and pervasive, not merely regulatory. It has to have substantial control. It has to have strong control. Only then you say that particular authority is state, when it has deep pervasive control of government. Yes. Next very important question. Is judiciary a state? Is court a state? What do you think? Let us see. So judiciary is not expressly mentioned in Article 12. Yes, right? We didn't see is judiciary a state expressly in Article 12. It is not mentioned. So when courts perform judicial functions, they are not treated as state. In judiciary, they have again categorized. Is judiciary a state? Here they have categorized when the judiciary is performing judicial functions and when it is performing non-judicial functions. Okay. What do you mean by judicial functions? When it is giving decisions, when it is deciding a case, it is called as judicial functions. What is non-judicial functions? When it is doing some administrative work, day-to-day activities, that is called as non-judicial functions. So judiciary performing judicial function, is it a state? No, it is not a state. Judiciary while performing non-judicial functions, is it a state? Yes, it is a state. Clear? Let us read it out. So when courts perform judicial functions, they are not treated as state. For example, when the court is deciding a case, when the court is interpreting the law, at that time, can you enforce your fundamental right against the judiciary? No, right? So that is why judiciary, when it is performing judicial function, is not a state. When courts perform judicial functions, they are not state while deciding the cases, passing the judgments or interpreting law. Courts cannot be sued for violating the fundamental rights. Right? When it is performing judicial function, you cannot enforce the fundamental rights against the judiciary because it is not considered as state. When the courts perform non-judicial functions like rule making, administrative activities, all of that, they are treated as state. If the courts do administrative or rule making work, then they act like an authority and can be treated as state. Clear, all of you? Understood? What is Article 12? A very important article. What is Article 12? This defines state. Why are we studying what is Article 12? Because most of the fundamental rights are enforceable only against state. For that you need to know the definition, what is a state. Okay? So here we saw central government, state government, local authority and other authority. Is what other authority is given in the constitution. It is a wide term which is explained through cases. Okay? Clear, all of you? Yes. So as of now we will end here, and such similar videos will be coming up in the next coming days. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and yes, see you guys soon. Thank you.